I've had quite a few people asking about the deck that I ran for Nationals, so finally getting around to it, and here's the vid of it. Unfortunately, there's two slight adjustments that I've made to the deck to play in a modified tournament afterwards. Unfortunately, this just wasn't the right deck choice. With the Canadian Nationals, a lot of people have changed over from Magnabor to Magnazone Yanmega, or just Yanmega variants. And yeah, so my deck didn't work quite as well as it did during practice because I hadn't practiced against any Yanmega variants at all during playtesting. My deck actually does have a name. I thought I was kind of original when I was coming up with it, but turns out I found out the day of pre-registration that I believe it may have been Jay Witz or someone else did a video on pretty much specifically my deck, calling it Four Corners. It's 4 stage 1s that seem to work pretty much perfectly with each other. And honestly, it still was a pretty good play for Nationals, but it definitely needed some tweaking to be able to stand up to all the Magnazone Yanmega in the format. But yeah, this is what I ran. 1 tie Rogue. I only have 2 Cluffet in here now, but I did run 3. That was also a big mistake. Babies lost me games. I just have horrible luck when it comes to the flip, and a lot of my games that actually my first game that I lost, he took 3 prizes off of babies. Yeah, I couldn't get, I was dead drawing. You can actually read more details of my tournament report on my blogspot, which the link is in the bottom description bar. But yeah, for future decks, I'm taking Jay Witz's advice, probably, and running no more than 2 babies in a deck, possibly 3 if I want to go for tie Rogue, but even 3 I think is a push. You know, I'm really just sick of losing games because of these guys. Yeah, they're amazing starters, but they're also just very easy prizes for your opponent. Alright, so I did that. I did a 2-2 line of Zoroark. And you may not be able to tell, but this is the first deck that I actually played completely reverse. Unfortunately, I think you could tell it a bit more with this one. The matte sleeves that I have, I was told that they show the reverse more. I honestly think they show the reverse less. I like the way the matte sleeves shuffle, but I think they just make the cards look dull. That's just my personal opinion, and I may just be a bit bitter about the sleeves because they did clump from my first, well, technically 4 games. That first game was a practice game the night before, but they just horribly clumped my cards, and I've never had that problem with just the regular Ultra Pros. But anyways, I did 2-2 Zoroark. In the tournament, I did 2-2 Yanmega. I changed it to 3-3 after the tournament. 2-2 Donphan, 3-3 Cincinno. That may be something, if I could go back, I might change. I really like the 3-3 Yanmega, but I might want to take the reliance off of the Cincinno a bit, maybe do a 2-2 tech and add in another Donphan, and possibly another switch, because the Donphan tends to get locked up there pretty easily. So those are my Pokemon. Here's my trainer supporter line. 4 Copycat, 3 Judge, and those are to get my hand sizes the same as my opponent for Yanmega, so I don't have to pay energy to attack. 1 Professor Juniper, 1 Flower Shop, 3 Collector, 1 Twins. Those were my supporters. The only time I kind of wanted to change up my supporter line was when I ran into, and this was in a tournament afterwards, but a Vileplume deck. I don't have any supporters that allows me to just directly search for evolved Pokemon, so I was having some difficulties there, but I was still able to win that game pretty easily just because my deck doesn't rely on stage 2s, and I can usually Copycat, or even Twins if I'm behind, into the stage 1s that I need. So here's the trainers that I run. 1 switch, and like I said, if I go back, I'd probably add another switch if I was going to increase my Donphan line. 2+ power, these were critical for being able to one-hit knock out the Magnazones with Donphan's Earthquake. And they also actually came in handy quite a few other times. For example, one-shotting Yanmegas with Cincinnos. But yeah, the 2+ power were essential. 2 Pokemon Reversal. Again, this is another flippy card that I hate this card. And I'm kind of glad Catcher is coming out, so that'll replace it and have a guaranteed, let's bring up your whatever on the bench. Because, I mean, I lost games just because I could not, I would reversal, I would use both my reversals, and I would use some junk arms on reversals, and I would just flip tails every time. Right now, the format is just so flippy. I hate it. 3 Pokemon Communication, 3 junk arm, and those are all of my trainers. And so now for my energy. 4 basic fighting, 2 basic grass, and I had, I swapped out my rescue energy for grass energy, which I know isn't needed with Yanmega as long as you keep your hand your hand the same size. But I found that with only 4 basic energy in my deck, that when I used Flower Shop, I was often not able to put any energy back in because the rest of my deck is all special energy, and sometimes that would hurt me. It's also kind of nice to be able to attach 1 grass and, 1 whatever to Yanmega to be able to use its first linear attack, the sniping attack, and then I wouldn't have to worry about my hand size. The grass energy, since it could be retrieved by Flower Shop Girl, was also just kind of nice to throw away if I needed to retreat, and I didn't feel like I was wasting a special energy, specifically the rescue energy. So I know a lot of people don't run any grass at all in their Yanmega variant decks, but I found that 2 just was a nice little add-in for me, and I found that when I was using my rescue energy, it was pretty much just an attachment just to attach. I wasn't ever really using them specifically because I needed that Pokemon back. It was very rare that I did. 3 Special Dark. In the tournament this was 4, but this is one of the changes I made afterwards in order to fit that 3/3 on Mega line in. And I found that really the only reason I have Special Dark is to one-shot the Reshiram's when I'm using Foul Play, and some other times it comes in handy. But it was mainly for the Reshiram's. And then 4 double colorless. DCE for Zoroark, Cincinno, and every now and then I had to actually attach one to a Phanpy to be able to retreat them. So that was my deck. I do really like my deck. The Chinchilla, or Cincinno, I could just call him the Chinchilla, is one of my favorite Pokemon. And I hope to be, with the new set coming out, I hope to be able to modify this a bit more just to be a very fast, speedy deck, and hopefully be able to continue to play it. I like playing a variety of decks, but at the same time, when I find something I like, I also like just to stick with it. So, that's an overview of the deck I ran. I think that's about it. Oh, this is I showed this in my other video, but this is pretty much one thing I did buy from one of the vendors at Nationals was the Chinchilla box to go with the Chinchilla deck. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and I think since I have partnership now, I've got a lot of people suggesting that I do deck reviews, so I'm thinking of asking people to submit their decks. And I can review just general decks, but then I'm doing pretty much the same thing as like Jay-Wits and some of the other big Pokemon players on YouTube. And I thought it'd be interesting because I do have people PM me quite a bit, asking if this is a good deck idea, if that's a good deck idea. If people wanted to just send me their lists, or not even lists, but just even a description of their deck, and I can review that. So it's just a thought. Let me know what you guys think, and again, thanks for watching.